So welcome everyone, and if at all possible, if you can keep your videos on, it will be good so that it looks more interactive. So please do keep your videos on if it's possible. And just reminding as to why we have these meetings, what is the purpose of this BGSM meetings that we have? BGSM stands for Business Growth Strategy Meeting. And the idea is that we come together at least once a week and each one of us share on topics that are interesting to us and where we feel we can add value to others. And we help each other to dream at growing our businesses at 10x or much bigger pace. So that's the idea behind this meeting. So we've covered various topics so far. We majorly cover topics in the Pathfinder stage of businesses. That is, businesses who have come out of their struggling phase and who are in the Pathfinder phase. They're trying to look for, some areas where they can, take off in growing their business. So that's the area that we cover too. And this started close to 5 years back when three of us, a couple of my friends and me, we were going on a trek and we asked questions to each other. And it was a very enriching experience where we were able to find answers to some specific challenges that we were facing individually in business. So that's how it all started. And it's been 5 years now. And we have an online community, bacommunity.me. And we also have a tool where we can track our goals and, monitor. So these two platforms are currently dormant, though they're available. You can go online and check, but we will be restarting them probably in a month or two once again and make it more active. So we have covered all these topics. So the counts that you see in each of these boxes are the number of topics that we have covered specific to that particular topic. Today we are getting into recruitment, a topic that we've not covered already. So recruitment. And we have a WhatsApp group where you can also post any of your business activities or anything. If you're not part of a group where it is open for everyone to post, you're probably a part of the admin only posting. So I'll put the group link. So please do join this WhatsApp group if you're not part of the group where you can also post. So idea is you can post about your business, you can ask questions, you can post any referrals that you have. So I've put the link in the chat. So please do join that group if you're not part of it. Okay, so today's topic is not, okay, the topic name is different. The topic is how to recruit right and grow in business. And the format is going to be, I will be sharing for a few minutes from whatever I have idea. And then it will be open for each one of you to add points to it or to question, any questions that you have, any challenges in this field or even other topics also. And it need not be me who will be answering. Any one of us can answer. Okay, we have very senior people here. So any one of us can answer that. So that will be the format that we will be following. So, so how to recruit right and grow the business? So how does right recruitment look like? That is, if we do the recruitment correctly and if it aligns correctly with the business, how does it look like? What will be the outcome of that? So first is the recruit will be an independent contributor. There will not be any need for continuous supervision and continuously asking them what is happening. The person will be independently contributing and for the growth of the organization. The person will be a self-learner. There you need not have to be continuously telling them, why don't you do like this? Why don't you do like this? The person will be a self-learner, self-motivated, growth mindset. One of the biggest requirement from a business owner towards a person who joins the organization is, do they have a growth mindset? Are they continuously looking at growth? Because it's very critical. If the individuals do not grow, the company does not grow. So having a growth mindset, a positive and a supportive attitude. So not negative and complaining and cribbing about things, but very extremely positive and a supportive attitude. Solutions focused and not problem identifier. Now this is something that I have seen happening. Team members are very good at identifying problems. Sir, this is a problem, that is a problem. Fine, I also know it's a problem. I can probably identify more problems than what you can do, but can you identify solutions, or can you bring out solutions for the problems that are there? So having a right recruit can help in solution focus. Finally, avoid creation of firefighting. If at all in our companies we are having firefighting, it is probably because the team members are just allowing the firefighting to happen. But there are good recruits, good team members who do not allow firefighting to happen. They are so proactive that even they will sense something going wrong much advanced, and they will work towards, to ensure that it doesn't go wrong. And they ensure that things don't happen in a bad way. So these are all good the way good recruits happen. Okay, so what are the prerequisites of right recruitment? So to do the right recruitment, there are 3 or 4 prerequisites that I could identify. The first one is the organization ready for the recruitment? Now, what I mean by that is have higher revenue to cover the new cost. So whenever we are looking for recruitment, do we have the revenue to cover the recruitment? Now, many of us make a mistake of recruiting without even having the enough revenue required to cover that particular recruit. Have reserve to cover the new recruit cost for at least 6 months. Do we have reserve set aside to cover the new recruitment cost? Existing team is working 20% or more than normal for 3 months. That is what happens is sometimes we go ahead and recruit just because we feel tired, or we feel if I have one more person, it will help. But actually, the right way of recruitment, in fact, it is there in the Dave Ramsey book that I recommend towards the end, is that you are putting more effort, at least 20% or more effort than what you are putting and the other team members are putting consistently, maybe for 2 or 3 months, and then you recruit a person to take on that added responsibility. That is the right way of recruiting. Next is the organization ready for the recruitment? That is there a proper process document for the new recruit? Have you noted down every single process required? When this person comes, he can just go. Of course, you will have to onboard, you will have to train, but there has to be a well-documented process document so that this person can come and start off with the work right from the starting, rather than waiting for weeks together to understand what's going on. And is there a well-defined onboarding and training process in place? You may want to keep aside a day or two of training, or maybe even a week-long training, depending on the role that they are coming into. Next are there KRAs and KPIs well defined? If you do not have a proper definition of what result areas that they will be focusing on and what are the performance indicators that they will be measured on, there is no way this new recruiter is going to be motivated. They will come and they will probably just loiter around and probably waste their time and waste our time. So is there a real-time tracking mechanism to monitor the performance? So are you able to tell their performance right from day one? If they are plugged into the system, do you have proper metrics to monitor right from day one that, okay, is this new recruit or new team member aligned with whatever performance parameters that are required? Next is, what are the recruitment steps? Okay, few things that I could highlight. There is a very big list actually that we can come up with. A few things that I thought was quite important is, one is have multiple rounds of recruitment. Many of us, what we do is we interview for once or twice and we think that, this person must be good. Okay, but that is need not be the case. Most of the times it doesn't work. So have a minimum of 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds. In fact, in the book that you read, one of the books that I recommend, that is EntreLeadership, the author in fact says you can even have 12 rounds of interviews. 12 rounds. Can you imagine? I mean, it's unheard of in what we know of, but people do keep those kind of interviews. Keep more number of interviews, examine them in various skill sets. Okay, and also have multiple people interviewing. You don't be the only person interviewing. If you have other team members who are also in a senior position, make them also interview. Let them also conduct 1 or 2 rounds, and ultimately have a simulation round. Now, this is something that many of us as small and medium businesses, we avoid. That is, we actually give them a real-time scenario and tell them, do this. Okay, or do this for an entire day, or maybe for an hour or two, and then put them through the whole process and see whether the person is enjoying what he is doing, whether the person is charged up when they do that. And we are not trying to be lenient, or we are not trying to take anybody who comes and then get into a big problem. Next is, what attitude to look for? Now this, I have borrowed it from a very popular book called Five Dysfunctions of a Team, and also the author Patrick Lencioni wrote another book called The Ideal Team Player. Okay, so I borrowed these three from there. So what he says is, the attitude that you should look for from a team member whom you're recruiting should be humble, hungry, and smart. Humble is, of course, the attitude that the person is quite humble. He's not looking at, having an ego issue, or he's not having pride, and he's able to talk to the juniors, seniors, all with complete humbleness. Next is hungry. That is hungry to grow. The person should be really interested to grow and to keep learning new things. And finally, smart is about smartness with people smart. That is how to interact with people, how to, how good they are with communication. So this author says, if you can get a person who's high on these three things, you're having an ideal team player: humble, hungry, and smart. Of course, this was also mentioned by Jawahar sir in one of the previous sessions. He also mentioned the same book. It's one of the very popular books. Okay, so that's the contribution from my side. Now, it's time for all of us to contribute. Please tell your name, your company name, your location, and category, so that we can network with each other, understand each other's businesses, and maybe connect each other for any business or anything, any requirements. So please, you can now unmute and give your contribution. Yeah. Anyone has anything to add, or even ask any questions also?
Really covered all the important points. So even out of my experience also, I recruited people. While recruiting, as you rightly said, we used to assess the need. And then for the recruitment, we used to have a panel which will consist of an outsider to have that impartial aspect to the recruitment process.
Yeah.
And we have one person from the HR and the business head. So it's more of that the independent person who used to do most of the talking.
Okay.
The,
This independent
rightly
person
said,
is an outside the company person, or outside the department person?
no, he'll be outside the company independently. Preferably, a consultant who is well-known consultant, or a senior person in the industry who is not connected with the company, so that it's the process is, there's no bias involved in the selection process.
Okay. Understood. Yeah. Dr. Devi, ma'am. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm just sharing the experience and knowledge what I personally have. It's my personal opinion.
Yeah, you can tell your name, company, location.
When
category.
I was starting, pardon me?
You can introduce yourself so that everyone knows. I know you, but not everyone might know, so they can connect with you later.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am Devi Seshatri. I have a work experience of 23 plus years in various MNCs and corporate in data center consulting, infrastructure management. Now, being my passion to teach, so I have underwent many of the training courses. So I become a strategic management trainer and coach. So I do MSME sector of people for counseling, consulting, training, facilitation. I also do conscious leadership coaching through the mindfulness. Because I am on another side a naturopathy doctor. I learned various type of techniques of therapies and other things. In that particular area only, I acquired my PhD and doctorate from World Peace University of USA. Now I am doing freelancing services for business sectors and everyone, any sector of people for need of consulting, counseling, guidance, mentoring, facilitation. Facilitation, I'm doing digital marketing in infrastructure, consulting in data center side for if the business demands in software or a hardware side. Okay. My experience when I started my career, as Mr. Thomas was, with the slides, what he was, talking about, same type of, interview I underwent at the time of 90s, 91, 92, 94, 96, those type of era. I went all 7 rounds of interviews, 5 rounds of interviews. And that time the learning was totally different, and the present generation learning and the lifestyle and employment opportunities, everything is totally different. Now in the field, I'm not out, and I am looking at, and most of the mindset, either an employer or an employee, they have the attitude of independence. Nobody, they have no patience for 7 rounds, 6 rounds of interviews. They are not willing to attend and come. And self motivation and self learning and thrive to their growth. All that is not there the present generation. All they want, because many of the MNC system process oriented company, as a customer support they worked, everything is process oriented. They have to click only a red blue button or a green button or enter and delete button. They are all trained like that. I still remember I took my mother to the hospital where my family doctor recently. My mother was very much, not listening to doctors, whatever doctor is saying. She is on her own demand and she was saying that. And doctor was, she upfront on a face, she was telling the doctor, you people are cheat. And unwantedly you are prescribing the medicine. I know very much about my body. These medicines are not suitable for my body at all, and it is not working at all. You are only increasing the dosage, 0.5 to 2.5 or 5. Every time you are only giving the variants of the dosage. Other than that, you are not changing the medicine. And wantedly, you are asking me to go for every test. And doctor was telling that, no, ma'am, you are coming after 1 year for a review. So you have to underwent all the tests to understand about your keratin condition and other condition. Then doctor told her, Amma, when your time, doctor was only touching this thing and looking at the eyes. They understand the problems and they prescribe the medicines. Now we are taught by all the machine support. So we only depend on the machine's report. We cannot diagnose with your eyes or with your skin color or with your nadi. All that we cannot do because our education system is not that. Our education system is depend on the machine, take the report and go through the report and prescribe a medicine, Amma. That is why we are like that. You have to accept it. So this is what the present current scenario. If we go, we can talk as a trainer. I can put lot of slides and I can explain. But Indian situation is different. American situation is different. UK situation is different. Here, everything work out only on the relationship and survival. Very few are really growth oriented and mind of, contributing for society, community, so on and so forth. Everyone are breadbitten winner and survivors. And these of the slides will not going to work out for a present scenario with most of the sector. Some of the sector, yes, it work out on the corporates, larger corporates and MNCs. This is my humble, opinion. I may be wrong. Please forgive me if I'm wrong.
No, not
Thank you for
nothing like that. So maybe your opinion is tangent to what I said, because we are into software solution, and for us we need people with very high level of education, and somebody who is extremely process oriented, and who have to bring in their entire capital, intellectual capital into their work. So for us this actually works, but you actually are pointing out to a sector where maybe so much of because you mentioned about machines and process, press a button and all. In that, yes, as you said rightly, probably 7 rounds, 10 rounds are not required. I agree to what you're saying. I totally agree to what you're saying. It's only two different applications is what I believe. Yeah. So Mr. Dinesh, you wanted
that's
to say.
what I also mentioned, that larger corporates.
Yeah, got it.
As you rightly said, for a process oriented or research or some of the sectors, only these things will work it out. But
Absolutely.
every
I
sector,
agree.
it cannot be, we cannot apply it. That is what I'm saying.
I agree, ma'am. I agree to
Yeah,
that.
thank you. So recently,
Then
my son has to wait for 1 year to
I
get
think
employment
we'll go
because of.
we'll go to Dinesh once, and then we'll again come back to you. Yeah, because Dinesh is yeah, Dinesh.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is Dinesh Abnani here. So I'm the owner of Lead Up Management Training Institute. We do management and leadership skill development programs in corporates, and as well as we conduct online webinars as well. Just to, Thomas, you have added very good information into the slides, but one additional point which I would like to bring from my side is the diversity recruitment. It can be male-female ratio to support the entire team structure. It can be bringing a person from a different environment or a culture altogether. And it can be a coach coming in from outside and training the team and observing the team, how they are performing. So sometimes these different dimensions bring a very good productivity within the team. yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dinesh. Dinesh always has got a point which is like totally different from any of us what we would have thought of, So in fact, I remember one of the times he was mentioning that you should allow the person to build his own brand and all that. I was like, my God. But yeah, Dinesh is actually living that life. So thank you, Dinesh, for sharing. Thank you very much. Radhakrishna sir, actually, you did not introduce yourself. Maybe you can introduce yourself and you wanted to share something, sir?
Yeah, I wanted to say was today one aspect which is I think very common is as against the I think online interviews are today is more popular, where people are getting interviewed by Zoom and Google Meet and online. So is that an aspect that needs to be considered because it's not happening in person.
Yeah. True, very true, sir. And you can introduce yourself also, sir. You can tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Radhakrishnan here. I've been in the industry with more than 30 years of work experience. I'm now working.
Yeah, your voice is
Consulting.
breaking a little bit. It's not coming that clearly.
Am I audible now? Is it better now?
Yes, this is better. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I was with the financial services industry with more than 30 years of experience. My last corporate experience was the Standard Chartered Group in Mumbai. I worked with them for almost a decade. And thereafter, I am now consultant freelancing with different companies, which are digital platform for corporate governance, digital platform for ESG management. And I've also been certified as a consultant for health and other investment insurance products. And I also help as a mentor with startups for their for the investments and the business development and funding.
Okay.
I'm a member of associations like the Madras Management Association, IMC Chamber of Commerce Industries in Mumbai, and I'm on the technical panel of FICCI,
Okay, yeah.
Tamil Nadu State Council.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you. And sir has added me into one WhatsApp group also. So really thank you for that. It's an honor to be there. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Sairam, sir, welcome. You raise your hand. You can turn on your video and unmute and speak. Sairam, sir, you're muted. I hope you can hear me. Okay. Yes, sir. Sairam, sir, you would like to ask something or add something? Okay, we can't hear you. So unable to hear you, sir. So maybe once your audio starts working, we can hear you. Dr. Devi, ma'am, you wanted to say something. You wanted to continue. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I was just looking across this lengthier process
Yeah.
made the person stressful also. Live example, my younger son who completed his engineering, chemical engineering, and campus recruitment. He had to wait for 2 years to get his job, and he was ambiguity whether should go for a higher study or I should go for another employment, and so much of stress. Finally, last month only he got his appointment order. But they will keep following and they were selling, you are selected, you will get. Because it's a very good company and the same domain and research platform. But this lengthier process sometimes also keeps this younger generation into
Yeah, but 2 years is a little too much,
suspense.
ma'am. I never had 2
Suspense
years.
and thriller.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 years, I don't know how they are able to. So really must be a very large organization and probably he really aspires to get into it. So 2 years is a little high.
Of course, he joined in research and development as a junior chemist in NCL.
Okay.
It's
Thank
a
you.
larger organization. So it takes time for him to, process of one by one completing and, throwing and other person relieving and a lot of formalities, HR formalities.
I understand now. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. Anyone else has any questions, even if it's other than the current topic that we're discussing, you can ask that right now. Any questions you have? Okay, so we'll move on. So please invite your friends. This is basically sharing and discussing on various topics. Please do invite your friends. And if you would like to share something you feel, entrepreneurs and business owners like us, we can benefit from what you're sharing, please let me know. You can take one of these sessions where you can share and we can all discuss after that. So please let me know any topic that you would like to share. And there are other support systems also. So if you're interested in any of those, please let me know. These are books that I recommend if you are looking at scaling up, if you're starting and want to make it big. Very practical books, 3 of them. I strongly recommend these books. And these are, of course, classic books, which are like covers companies which have been there for 100 years and how they have survived for a very long time and all that. So these are kind of books that I would recommend. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask, please also put it in the group. We can make it a discussion. Ultimately, it's called BGSM, Business Growth Strategy Meeting. So please do put your questions over there also. Thank you. That's been the session for today. Thank you all very much for joining, and wish you a great week ahead and great success in business. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Till we meet next week again.
Yeah.